Hello, everybody. You are entering the end of the course and you're getting into the really, really good stuff here. And honestly, even to this day, I have yet to find a video that's kind of similar to this, which is how to analyze Facebook ads and optimize what to look for, what not to look for, what are certain parameters. Because I remember when I first started doing Facebook ads, everybody on YouTube taught like how to create a Facebook ad and everything, but nobody really showed how to analyze them. What should I be looking for? When is an ad doing well? When should I turn off an ad? Like, how do I optimize an ad? Like, these are all questions I really had, and I could never find YouTube videos on how to analyze ads. And what I started to realize is like every industry is different, and still to this day I don't know why people don't really have videos like that. But in this video, I'm gonna do my best here to show you how to analyze and optimize your ads to make sure you get the best results, when to turn off ads, when to scale ads, when and just how to look at the numbers and all that kind of good stuff. So this may potentially be a longer video, and like I said, I'm just going to show you past campaigns that I've run, my psychology and my mindset behind why I scaled an ad, why I turned an ad off, all that kind of good stuff. So there might be little interruptions here of me just thinking or whatever it is. I'm going to try to edit them all out, and I'm just going to do my best here to teach you guys my mindset behind those things. So before we hop into this, we need to know a couple parameters here when we're looking at ads. And there's three really, really very important numbers that we're going to be looking into. Those being CTR, which is click-through rate, CPC, which is cost per click, and cost per lead. These are three numbers that are the variables that are going to determine whether we turn an ad off, whether we let an ad continue to run, whether we turn or we scale an ad up, which is a green light, red light, yellow light, green light. So let's just keep it simple like that. I think that'll be an easier term to use it. Red light means we turn the ad off. Yellow light means let it run. Green light means scale it or duplicate the ad. So let's go ahead and look into the definition of these things. That way, when I hop into the ad set, you guys know what I'm talking about. So let's start with click-through rate. So you saw this in the video earlier, which is Facebook pricing click-through rate, which is the total measured clicks divided by the total measured ad impressions times 100. So in simple terms, what that means is, let's say out of 100 people, 3 people were to click on our ad. Out of those 100 people, that's a 3% click-through rate. Click-through rate is represented as a percentage. Now, just for a note, every location is different. Okay, so click-through rates are going to vary, cost per clicks are going to vary, cost per lead is going to vary. Each industry is different. Whether you're running ads for yoga versus surgeons, that's going to be different. Locations, countries, there's so many different variables. So I'm going to try to give you the best generic version of how I've run ads and how I've analyzed ads all the way from clients from Miami to Utah to Los Angeles to Texas. I have clients all over these places, and they stay pretty consistent. But anyway, so I'm going to go over like stuff like click-through rate, what's the best kind of click-through rates, what are the best cost per clicks, cost per leads, etc. All right, so that's a click-through rate. So this is the most important thing when to get an ad to really run is our click-through rate. This is what I look at. I look at click-through rate and I look at cost per lead. Those are the most important ones. Now the next variable we're going to look at is cost per. Actually, let's look at this one first. Cost per click, CPC. So when I say CPC, it's cost per click, which is total ad spend divided by the total measured clicks. So if we spend $10, let's just keep it easy. If we spend $10 on ad spend and we get 10 clicks, that's $1 CPC, cost per click. All right, and so we want to have the lowest cost per click, because that means the lower that our cost per click, that means our ad is doing really well. So I want you to think about it as this. We want a high click-through rate. The higher CTR that we have, that means our ad is performing really well. That means say we have a 10% click-through rate, out of 100 people, 10%, or 10 people, those people, 10, tongue twister, 10 out of those 100, which is 10%, clicked on our ad, which is a really good click-through rate. But for our cost per click, which is the total ad spend divided by how many people click on the ad, we want to have a low cost per click. We want to have it as low as possible, because that means that our ad is we're not paying that much just to get somebody to click through to our ad. So that's the cost per click. Now, when it comes to analyzing ads, this isn't the most important determining factor between whether I scale an ad, turn an ad off, or let it run. But it's just a good to note for me to know. Like if I'm getting a $3 cost per click, I know that my ad isn't doing really well. Because that's just people aren't clicking. We're spending $3 just to get someone to click on the ad. That's way too expensive. But this is the determining factor right here. Cost per lead. I'm not going to say CPL. I'm just going to say cost per lead. Now, what's cost per lead? Total ad spend divided by the total leads. So if we spend $100 and we get 10 leads, right? If my math's right, that's $10 per lead, right? I think my math's right. All right, I'm not a mathematician. I use the calculator, guys. Yeah, let's use that. You guys are laughing at me if you want. I think it's $10. Yeah, $10. $10 cost per lead. All right, so this is the determining factor between why, if I'm going to turn an ad on, off, or etc. is right here is the cost per lead. And I'm going to go examples of different campaigns that I've run. So let me pop this up. And I'm going to do my best here to examine and show you guys prior campaigns that I've run in the past. So let's go ahead and let's start with this client here because I ran one campaign for them. So you can see here I had 99 leads for them for $2.53 per lead. We spent $250. So you might be thinking to yourself, wow, that's a really good cost per click. All right. But when I analyze an ad, I never analyze it at the campaign level, right? Because remember, we have multiple different ad sets that we tested. So I'm going to click on this campaign here, and that's going to take me here to the ad set level. Now, if you look inside the ad set level, I have 3 different ad sets that I ran for this client. So to adjust the date for the time frame in which you're looking for an ad, there's multiple things you can do. You can go up here, and you can look at lifetime, today, yesterday, 7 days, 14 days, 30 days. Typically, what I look at today, yesterday, and 7 days. That's most likely. Those are usually the numbers that I'm looking at. If I'm determining if I'm gonna shut an ad off or on, I'm gonna look at a 7-day time period. Or you can go ahead and make a custom one by clicking on the calendar here. But I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna leave this as lifetime because this client was from a few months ago. All right, so I'm looking at this campaign here. And remember when I looked earlier, it said here at the campaign level, this is an average, by the way, between all the different ad sets. So right here, we had 99 leads across 3 different ad sets and an average of $2.53. So if I go into my ad set level, I'm going to see something different. Right, here's my 99 leads broken up into 3 ad sets. So the bottom one here was all women on Facebook. On all women on Facebook, I got 36 leads. Now, I'm automatically looking here at columns. I'm looking at performance. So what I also do is I look at performance and clicks. So this is how you can adjust, the different parameters. Now, the only thing you're going to use in this case is performance and clicks. So make sure you choose performance and clicks. And it's going to give you, and I'm looking at these columns right here. You see this right here? So I'm going to look at this bottom one first. Sorry, at this top one first. I have women on Instagram. All right, so women on Instagram results. I got 43 leads with this at a cost of $1.93 per lead. That was with the $5 a day budget. We spent $82. All right, so now I'm looking at the bottom one here. I got 36 leads at an average of $2.33 a lead. At $5, we spent $84. Okay. So I'm going to look at a couple things here, right? And then we have the bottom one, which is women. Now, back in the day, if you're watching this video, we don't have access to it anymore. But back in the day, we were able to access people's income, whether they make $100,000 a year and above. And that's what this was. We're not able to do that anymore. But with that ad set, we were able to get 20 leads at $4.15 per lead. So right off the bat here, guys, this is what I was looking at when I determining if I was going to run this campaign. So if I had, say, a $10 a day budget, which I think it was for this client because they had a really small budget. This was like one of my first clients when I first got started within a few months of my agency. So if I'm getting leads here on Instagram, remember I told you to split up Instagram and Facebook? It's because for this reason right here. If you look at this, look, I'm getting $1.93. I don't think yet to this day I've gotten leads this cheap. This was just a really good client that was really well known. And it was just a Pilates studio in a really nice area called Wynwood, Miami, and it just really took off, especially with the offer. Unfortunately, the client ran out of money, and they had to shut down their whole marketing team. So I wish I could have kept working with them. But anyways, here I had $1.93 per lead, but here with women, with the income over $100,000 a year, I was at $4.15. So if I had this budget, guys, this is why I turned this campaign off. So actually, this is a campaign I would have turned off. Why? Because let's just say I have a budget of $15 a day, right? I'm literally paying more than double to get a lead. This is just a name and a phone number for somebody that makes over 100,000 a year. Then if I wish just to get a regular woman without any income barriers on Instagram, I'm paying more than double the price. So why would I pay more than double the price per lead? So if I was analyzing this campaign, say on a 7-day period, I would actually turn this ad off just for a little bit, right? Because eventually there's something called ad fatigue, which is if you once you run an ad for a few months, like for example, the longest ad I've ever ran was the first ad I ever created. The first ad I ever created kicked butt, which was a dental offer. I ran that offer for 7 months, guys. I created it one time, ran it for 7 months because it just kept getting leads after leads. I think that one campaign, my first campaign, ever got over 650, almost 700 leads for the client. I was like, I think that was a luck. That was some luck, but it worked, right? Eventually, they shut the ad down after Facebook changes, stuff like that. But anyways, ad fatigue. So eventually, this cost per click is gonna eventually go up as the weeks go on. First, it might be $1.93. Then maybe week 2, it might go up to $2, then $2.10, then $2.25, then $2.30, and eventually, after a couple months, it's gonna reach this $4.15 number. So then, once it gets to that point, I might come back and turn this ad campaign off. But for right now, if I was analyzing these ads, I would turn off this one because I'm paying more than double the price just to get this cost per lead. Now let's look at the clicks, the click-through rate. So click-through rate. If I was just looking at this ad, so click-through rate, remember, it's the amount of people out of 100 people, how many would click on this ad. So it's actually kind of funny here. If you look at the top one, which is the Instagram, it's only 2% click-through rate. Now, just a parameter, when a click-through rate, the best click-through rates are anything above 3%. Anything above 3% is typically on average. Anything below 3% is like an average click-through rate. So you can see actually, on particular, this ad had a really good click-through rate. It was a 4.24% click-through rate, which actually was double the click-through rate of this one. So that means out of 100, more than 50% of people, if my math's right, clicked on this ad over the ad that performed well. So now we have to think about it. Why is it that this ad did a little bit more? And that's just stuff that I have to think about. Cost per click. So we pay 44 cents for a woman to click on our ad for the Instagram, and 48 cents for women on Facebook with the income over 100,000 a year. So it's just a couple cents more. But these are factors to look at. So I can see, okay, this alone right here wouldn't be a reason for me to turn an ad offer on. It's just like good numbers to look at. But this right here is why I would turn this particular campaign off, which is the women with income on Facebook, because I'm paying more than double the cost per lead than I was on Instagram. So if I had a $10 a day budget, I would leave women here, because women on Facebook, women on Instagram, just leave it, because this is not too far off, and it's good to have leads coming from Facebook and Instagram. So these are the two campaigns that I would look at just right there. So let's hop into another.